Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I'm back to post a quick video here. This is actually going to be my response to the Harmless Rebel, his VC charity video, which I think is an absolute great idea because I sent him a message just the other day telling him that because the day after I posted my lotto video, I did a video doing a contest on the VC charity, and I don't have the fancy editing equipment like a lot of you. I say fancy, it's probably so common these days, I just don't have it. But I don't have the editing equipment, so when I went back and watched it before I posted it, I made a couple mistakes in it, and I wanted to go back and correct it, but I have to go back and shoot the whole video over again. And by the time I got around to doing that, Harmless Rebel had already put up his contest video, so I thought, doesn't make sense to have two of them going at once. I'll just not do mine and jump on board with his. So great idea, man. And I'm going to take this time really to share, there's a number of charities I'm involved in. It's not something I talk about with a lot of people, so typically people don't know. But I'm just going to kind of talk about the main three that I'm involved in and I'm pretty passionate about. Number one, I'm going to say, or one of the three, I have no particular order here, is the Pacer Center, is the first one. And this actually kind of goes back to why I made the video response to the lotto thing in the first place. Is that the Pacer Center is basically a charity that's based around anti-bullying. It's just an organization that works with kids and teenagers and whatnot from dealing with, just bullying, which can come in so many different forms. Whether you're talking about your religion, about your sexuality, your skin color, your just whatever. And so that's an organization I'm pretty passionate about. I know it's one that Ellen DeGeneres also supports quite a bit, just to throw a name out there. But yeah, but I think it's also kind of an explanation behind why I felt the need to make some type of response to the Lotto video. I mean, I've been on YouTube for over 500 videos I've made, plus other videos I've commented on. I've been attacked a lot of different times. People calling me the N-word and all other kind of things, especially when saying if I say something about a political view or something someone doesn't agree with. And it's always something that never really shakes me that much. But if I ever get to where I see or get the feeling of someone else being attacked or bullying, that actually brings out more of a defensive mode in me than if someone is actually attacking me. And there's just something about that. I've just always felt very protective about people in that regard, especially people that aren't engaging, that aren't like looking for the fight. There's just something within my soul, something that's built within me that says, you have this responsibility to help stand up for those kind of people. So that's part of what the Pacer Center is about for me. And and there has been some times in my life, but basically when I think about actually going off on someone based on that kind of thing, it's not something that really happens that often. I mean, I don't think in the lotto video I was necessarily going off as much as stressing strong opinions. But there's basically been 3 times in my life, like I can actually count them, that I've actually gone off on somebody in defense. One was about a year or so ago. Someone attacked a friend of mine, and I felt like I had to defend them, and I kind of went off on that person. And then about 10 years ago, I was in a bar, or nightclub, comedy club, actually called Deja Vu, and these guys started going at this gay couple that they were sitting right beside me. They did absolutely nothing to even try to interact with them, and so I felt the need to kind of stand up and defend and, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, it didn't get physical or anything, but I definitely, took a very harsh stand against what was going on there. And then the third time, which is really a funny story, I have to tell this one. A town I used to live in, there was kind of a white supremacist group that was petitioning to be able to march in a parade. Well, this lady and a bunch of people kind of got together. They wanted to get a petition signed to not allow them to do that. Well, she saw me coming, black guy, automatic signature, please sign this. And I asked her to explain to me exactly what's going on. And so after she explained it, I said, that's not something I think I can sign. And she was like, what? And I was like, well, I think I'm on the same boat as you. I completely disagree with, I'm sure I probably disagree with just about everything that they believe in or what they're saying or whatever else. But I said, overwhelming, what the most important thing to me, though, is the freedom of speech. And so for me to sign some type of legal document to tell someone they can't say something. I was like, I can't do that. So I would much rather go to the parade and protest them than to get this sign where they can't. And she was like, well, that just doesn't make any sense. And but I was, and again, it's a very, very calm thing at that point in time. And I said, well, it's just a principle that I live by, that means more to me than stopping them. And so a few people that were standing in the crowd listening to our conversation were like, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to sign that either. And I think once that happened, and it wasn't the fact that maybe I didn't sign, but some other people, I actually influenced some other people not to, she just started kind of going off, and all you people are this, and I hope your kids are, something about hung by it, and just start, saying all of this crazy stuff. And I kind of got a little verbal with her at that point in time. I was like, what are you talking about? So that was kind of the third time in my life where I've truly went off on someone that we're just attacking people that they didn't really know anything about. So that kind of takes me back to that, why the Pacer Center is such it's one of the many out there, but it's just, one that I feel very strong about, because the whole bullying thing is just, it draws out more out of me to defend someone else than to ever think I have to defend myself. Second one would be MBV clinics, and that is actually a charity / nonprofit that's very close, because it's actually one that my family set up. And what that basically is my dad was a teacher, my mom was a teacher. We didn't come from big money or anything like that. My dad was first generation over here in America, and so Malawi, a small country kind of near the southern part of Africa, very kind of third world. People there basically have nothing whatsoever. And there are a lot of rural areas out there where people are literally still doing the clay walls, grass ceiling, no electricity, nearest phone is 35 miles away, the whole nine. Well, one of the things that really kind of connected with us was just the amount of illness that was taking place there, especially things that were treatable and preventable. So what we did as a family was we scraped together what money that we had at that time, and we went over there and built a clinic. And we're talking about a clinic here, we're talking about a big clay wall grass, type of thing over there. And, since there's really nothing there, it doesn't cost a lot to actually hire someone to kind of manage it and run it, so to speak. So what we did for the longest time, and still actually kind of do, is you can't really ship stuff over there, because you put stuff in a box, you ship it, it never makes it. The corruption and theft and everything is ridiculous. So every few months, someone had to jump on a plane and pay to have like 5 extra bags in their luggage go over, and we would take it over there to stock the clinic. And we're talking about the most basic of things here, things we totally take for granted. Flu medicine, cold medicine, ibuprofen, aspirin, bandages, Neosporin, stuff like that. And it's really weird to go, checking in your bags, and they can open up your bag and go, why do you have 50,000 pills in this bag? It's like, they're ibuprofen pills or whatever else. But it was just the easiest way, and really the way that we could afford to do it, was buy one ticket, pay the $75 for each extra bag, but that was enough stuff to really help people for 3-4 months at a time. And for someone that never had a place to go when they had a cold or a flu or anything like that, to actually have ibuprofen, to have Neosporin, to have bandages, to allow stuff not to get infected anymore, it was just an absolute great thing. And the more and more that my family kind of worked it, it really grew into other stuff, because there were some churches that caught on. So they went over there, and then we set up schools. Then we set up kind of some little areas where again, the most basic, like a little store. And again, we're talking about what most people would consider to be a shed where you keep your lawnmower, here in America. But over there, it was a store, because we were able to put stuff like cooking flour and needles and thread and basic things like that, where now, if you needed a piece of cloth, you didn't have to walk 30 miles to get to any type of market to get it. And so it's almost turned into like a little super Walmart out there now, because they have the clinic, they have the little store, we also did a grinding mill, so they didn't have to take their corn so far to have it ground. My mother is currently working with some doctors that are looking to do some overseas work, some Doctors Without Borders, to put an actual full-time physician on staff there. free of charge, just their volunteer, but it would be great because now we can get prescription drugs if needed. So, that's one that's very, very close, and that whole thing has been operated through donations from churches, doctor offices, and just whatever we could pull out of our wallet and put together to buy the next airline ticket to get someone to get over there and all that great stuff. So MBV clinics is a huge one for our family. And you ought to see the looks that people get on their face when we go into a dollar store and buy like every single pad, every single pencil to stock the schools, or you go to the counter with 50 bottles of ibuprofen, and they're like, you must have a bad headache. Like, yeah, I guess. But yeah, so we've been able to help a lot of people on a long-term basis through the MBV clinic. So that's one I'm really thankful for, I'm really adamant about, and really kind of very proud of my family in terms of what we've done to get that continually moving forward. The third one I would say too is St. Jude's Hospital, and that's actually the one I'll enter for my contest because that's one that actually comes out of my account automatically. Matter of fact, they took it out of my account just 2 days ago, was my contribution. So I don't have the actual sheet to show you because I don't want to hold up my bank statement too. But yeah, that just goes back to something about children fighting cancer. It's just it's the real life rocky moments to me, because I think the children teach us so much through that. As I mentioned a while ago, my work did a thing with another hospital here in town, a St. Louis Children's Hospital, and we did what we call charities, where we buy these boxes that cost about $50 each, and it's stuffed with stuff just to give kids to, pick up their spirits or whatever. And when you see a child, 8 years old or whatever, open up a box and he pulls out a coloring book and a truck, and he has a smile on his face from ear to ear for the next 2 hours while he has all these machines hooked up to him, tubes running out of his body everywhere. He's bald because of the treatment, everything he's going through, and he finds a way to have joy throughout that moment from such a simple thing. To me, there's such a power in the spirit of a child in that regard, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about St. Louis Children's Hospital, St. Jude's, and a number of others. Is that, and this may sound kind of twisted, but I just really want to share with you kind of what goes on in my spirit behind it. Is not only do I want these kids to have the best opportunity to get treatment, to get better, and live a healthy life, but there's also this piece of me that wants them to live longer. It's like, not suffer, obviously, don't want that to happen, but to live longer, just so the world has more of a chance to share and see their spirit. Because what these kids bring to everything, everyone they come in contact with, everyone they touch, everything they do, what they bring to the table is as powerful as what any man can do on the face of this earth. And it's like anything I can do to make their lives a little more comfortable, to fund research that can make their lives longer, all of that stuff, because these are people that we need in front of us today to actually show us what life is really about and what it really means. While we're off stressing about every little thing under the sun, you go in and see a kid like that and he's like, oh really, paying that bill is a stress to you? Buying enough stuff for Christmas, not finishing your Christmas shopping, having too many errands to, all the stuff that we freak out and stress about all the time. These kids, without saying a word, with a smile on their face, they're sitting in front of you going, let me show you what stress is. Let me put a mirror up in your face and show you what stress is. Let me show you what a real problem is. And then on top of that, let me show you how easy it is to overcome it. And that to me is just beyond fascinating. These kids are absolutely incredible. So that's a charity that, again, between what our work does, what I do on my own, that's one that I know I will be involved in for quite some time moving forward, because that's just a spirit that we all need to take in. So anyway, those are kind of the three that I'm most adamant about, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And again, great contest idea, and glad I could jump on board. And as always, take care and have a good Christmas tomorrow, VC.